Hortapu, my androgynous heterosexual gatekeepers. And today we're gonna talk about the roles of princehood, kingship, and priesthood from a heterosexual perspective. Okay? Now, I know that one of my teachers who happens to be gay has his perspective, but today I'm gonna go from my perspective, and I actually got a download from our ancient ancestor Nesututu, translation King Tutu. And I also went into meditation and I communicated with our other ancient Kemetic ancestor, Asar. So, as we begin this mini lecture, I want to start saying that this is a pharaoh. This is a pharaoh's hat for a prince. Some kings actually do wear this, but this hat in particular is basically a daily accessory, right? So this hat is worn in the spring and summertime, and they have other hats that they wear in the spring and summertime. And sometimes they wear that hat. They wear this hat in particular in the winter, sometimes. But mostly, this hat in particular is made for the spring and summer. And they have different names for them. So why don't we go into that? Give me a few minutes, you guys. Okay, students. So as you can see, this is a picture showing one of the royal Kemetic head. This is a picture depicting some of the royal Kemetic headdresses. The first one on my bottom right would be the Nemes headdress. It says the Nemes headdress was a blue and gold strip headcloth, and this was worn as a accessory during the spring and summer, and sometimes it was worn in the winter. Sometimes. Now we're gonna go to the top left corner, and we're gonna show you the white crown. The white crown symbolized the pharaoh's control over Upper Egypt and was worn on occasions involving Upper Egypt only. So occasionally, most people wore this white crown hat on the top left corner for occasions, celebration time. Okay? Now, this 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 red crown the red crown is symbolized as the pharaoh's control over lower Egypt and was worn on occasions involving Lower Egypt only. Okay? The and the part that I'm reading from is the top right corner. Okay? And also let me state that when our ancestors were in Lower Egypt, they wore the red crown in the spring and summertime. Okay? But as you heard, it was only on occasions. So whatever the occasion was, they wore they they wore this red hat. Okay? They wore their dashir crown. Okay? Occasionally in spring and summertime. Now, on the left hand corner, you see this here. It's called the double crown. The double crown was basically two crowns unified. You had the white crown on top, and then you had the red crown as the base and the center for the white crown. And this meant that this was Upper and Lower Egypt unified. And it also meant that you were a priest. And I'll get to that in a minute. I'll get to that concept in a minute. Excuse me. All right, so it says that the double crown was a combination of the red crown of Lower Egypt and the white crown of Lower Egypt. It symbolized the joining of two lands and the pharaoh's control over the two lands. Okay? So I mentioned about being a priest, but I'll get to that in a little bit. All right? So we're going to go to the bottom left hand corner, and we're going to learn about the Atif crown. The Atif was a white headdress decorated with ostrich feathers, which was worn during some religious rituals. So whenever the Kinetic whenever the Kamau Nasubilas, the men in particularly, when they would wear this hat in particular, it was for doing rituals, ceremonies, magic, because as you already know, song, dance, and chanting was a part of our Kemetic culture. Ka'u. And for those of you that don't know, Ka'u is it's the same Kemetic translation. It's the Kemetic answer translation for what the people in Yoruba say Ashe, and I'm gonna do a little video on that coming soon as well. It's gonna be very short too. So the next part we're gonna talk about is the blue crown. The blue crown the the capreche was a blue cloth or leather headdress decorated with bronze or gold discs, worn in battles as well as on ceremonial occasions. So this hat in particular was worn during either ceremonies or when our ancestors went to battle in war to totally kick butt. Yes. And here and I can give you a good description of that. Give me 1 second. Here we see our brother and actor Eddie Murphy wearing the Kinetic crown of war and special occasion. Okay, so in this depiction here, in this picture, we see that Eddie Murphy, and he also had his queen next to him, but in this picture, Eddie Murphy was pretty much bored, so he wanted to be entertained. He tried the comedic gesture. He wasn't funny. He tried the juggler. He wasn't amused. But then when Michael Jackson came on the scene, he became astounded. And of course he became furious, etc., etc. You've seen the music video, but yeah, this right here is one of the hats of war, as you see that Eddie Murphy is wearing. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go to the next slide. So in this picture here, we see that this talks about the crown. It talks about the United Crown of Egypt, and it says that the pharaoh or the Nesubila Menes combined the white crown of Upper Egypt and the red crown of Lower Egypt as a symbol of his rule of a united Egypt. So Nesubila Nemes was a Nesutan. He was the first Nesu of Kamau of Kemet to take the lower the red crown of Egypt and the white crown of Egypt and combine them together as a symbol of Kemetic unity. And it was also a sign of priesthood, which I'm going to get into a few minutes. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this. And if I stretch back the picture, you will see Nesubila Nemes in the he's in his first rulership, in his um an initiation. He's in his first initiation stages of uh of kingship. All right, with the with the white crown representing Upper Egypt, and when he had to do things in Lower Egypt, he would wear this crown. This would make him also king. All right, and when he became a priest, when he became a priest, he would wear this hat in particular. Okay, he would wear lower, which would be the red, and the Upper Egypt would be the white hat. Okay, that was a sign that he was a priest. Okay, a Kemetic priest, a Kemal priest. All right. Let's go on to the next slide. So, now that we have the history of princehood, kingship, and priesthood out of the way, I want to specifically talk about the role of kingship, princehood, kingship, and priesthood. And so, the other day when I went into meditation, what I found out from our heterosexual ancestors, Nesu Asar and Nesu Tutu, was that when you are when you become a prince, there is first a hairstyle. I'm not gonna be able to show the picture because it would override the length of this video, and I'm watching the timer as it goes by. So I'm sorry, I won't be able to show it, but all I can tell you is research it for yourself. You'll see a young boy with a ponytail on the side of his head, and that symbolizes his manhood at a very young age. And by this time, he would be a disciple. A spirit guide is near me, and he's saying, that's correct. So this right here symbolizes princehood. Okay, so when you become the actually when you are by the age of 12, that's when you have the ponytail on the right side of your head. But it's when you are the age of 13 that you become a prince. Okay? And you also have to go into initiation. Now, I'm not 13. However, I am 29 going on 30. Uh, one of my spiritual moods, one of my spiritual mothers, um, by the name of Sekhmet Asar, um, she told me that if I'm really serious about becoming a Kemetic prince, king, and priest of modern day Egypt, which is here in America, the first thing I would have to do is give up my blood. Now, I'm not going to give the full ritual away. However, in order for you to become the prince, king, and priest, not only would you have to go through certain self cosmic initiations, because in the past you would actually have to go certain places like certain temples. You would have to go to the rivers and be tested by certain initiates. But uh, since I don't have a female to initiate me, since I am an Eastern heterosexual, um, I have to initiate myself, and I am guided by the actual divine feminine spirit known as Sekhmet, and my cosmic mother and father, Aset and Asar, gave me the name Heru Asar. So I would be one of the new deities for modern day Kemet. Another thing is becoming, well, being a prince is a serious thing, but it's not as serious as your kingship and your priesthood. Um, in your in your princehood, all you're doing is learning and observing, processing information, so that when it's time for you to become a king and govern certain aspects of your culture, you specifically know what to do. Okay, and this comes with learning the Kemetic alphabet, learning numbers, learning basic Kemetic math, going from basic Kemetic mathematics to um, major and supreme Kemetic mathematics. Okay, and the Kemetic sciences, thanks to our um, thanks to our gay king and priest, Nasubila Rasumaba Ikfabemi. Okay, um, but I'm here for the heterosexual and bi and bisexual side of things, and he and King Rasumaba Ikebami is is not just here for the gays. He's also for the bisexuals too. Okay. However, both of us are here to help everyone. Okay. That's my disclaimer in advance. Okay, but I want my both my women and men to know that if you're serious about coming to our temples, whether gay or straight, and you're trying to be an initiate, you have to understand that this culture is a serious thing. It's not just a costume, and you can play around with it and say, oh, I'm a comedic king, bow to me, ha ha ha. No, this is I'm a I'm a I'm a comedic king, and if you don't do what is asked, I'm going to call the authorities and have them throw you out. Okay, this is a serious thing. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear my gay spiritual friend and brother's perspective on this. You know, he has more experience in this than I do. I'm just coming into it because I want to represent both the Western heterosexuals, the Eastern heterosexuals, and I want to be an assistant to the androgynous and gay community as well. Okay, as far as helping them with herbs and magic and mental problems and things of that sort. Um, but then of course some people are not meant to be helped, but that's neither here nor there. But the point is, becoming a comedic prince, king, and priest. It's a very serious thing, and this is not something you should take out of small concern. It's very real. It's very real, and since I don't have a since I don't have my female king to initiate me, um, I'm gonna have to initiate myself. Give me a second. I'm feeling something. Okay, never mind. Uh, the goddess segment is with me right now in spirit, and her response to me was, "No, no, I don't. Um, I don't have. I do have to initiate by myself, but I won't be all by myself. I'll have someone with me once I get initiated as a Kemetic prince, king, and priest. Okay, um, but the one thing I will tell you is that when you become a Kemetic prince, king, and priest, um, yeah, when you become a Kemetic prince, king, and priest, I think I think the princehood you don't never mind. Segmet says yes, you do have to give up blood. About uh, once every 3 centuries, and this is where uh, becoming a prince, king, and priest comes in at. Let me show you the other 2 hats that I have. Let me go to the next slide. So now that we talked about the princehood, we're going to go into the the first half of the kingship. Now, as you read, this represents the 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 lower half of Egypt, the lower self of Egypt, basically dealing with the basically metaphysically representing the the root chakra, and Mars dealing with that which is of the material realm and diplomacy. Okay, uh, diplomat. Princes do this too. Um, but before I get into that, let me talk about initiation. So with so with initiation, um, you you have to give up some blood. Now I can't tell you how you do that, because I don't want to get in trouble by my spiritual mother. So what I can tell you is that the is that one of the initiation processes is a it's a initiation and a symbol of your fully devoted commitment to all of Kemetic culture, from Upper Egypt and Lower, and also Eastern and Western of Kemet, because um, scholars, uh, white Kemetic, white Egyptologists, they're not even Kemetic, but white Egyptologists force us to see only two parts of Egypt, which is um, south and northern of Egypt. Um, there's more to Egypt than just those two uh, continents of Kemau. But this one symbolizes kingship, and it is worn in the spring and summertime in Lower Egypt. Okay. I'm sorry, my mistake. And I meant to say that this hat symbolizes. These are one of the hats that symbolizes that you are a Kemetic king. Okay. Um, for us, we 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 would just wear the hat that is similar to the the uh the the Nemes, the princess hat. But sorry, I got a message. Um, no, normally uh, um us Kemetic, well, yeah, us Kemetic princes and kings, we would wear the Nemes, right? And then when it's time for us to become king, we we would wear this, and we would wear another hat. But um, I'll find a way to squeeze that in this video. I'm trying not to make this lecture but too long. Um, but yeah, this is one of the hats. Okay, so continuing on to our next slide. Um, here here we have the here we have the crown of Lower Egypt on the left hand corner. We have both. Um, we have okay. We have the we have the prince. We have the we have the um we have the prince's hat over here, and this here on the bottom corner um is one of the ritualistic hats here, and on the right hand corner you see the glyph, also worn by uh who looks like Nemet, Nesubila Nemes, Nesu Nemes. Okay. I'm sorry. My comedic my comedic shimsu, my heterosexual comedic sechetsu are laughing because I'm doing so good when speaking their language. Okay, so so yes, the hatch the hatch you see demonstrated. Um, the one in the red represents Lower Egypt, and this deals with the um, political side of things, and political and cultural side of things. Uh, when it comes to the lower part of Kemet, and on the right you see the white crown, Kemetic hat, um, which is which was worn in the winter. I forgot to tell you guys that part. The white crown, um the white crown was worn uh on occasions in the winter time. Okay. um and this represented Upper Egypt. Okay. Upper Kemau. All right. And the blue hat symbolized our our um our crown of war and also celebration. And this right here, which we'll say is Asar. Okay. You 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 see him wearing the ostrich. Uh, you see him wearing the white crown with ostrich feathers. Yeah, you you see him wearing the white crown with ostrich feathers. Um, yeah, you see him wearing the ostrich crown. I mean, you see him wearing the crown with ostrich feathers. Excuse me. And as we said before, this is excuse me, the dog. Um, you see, this is a hat of um ritual, magic, and ceremony. Okay. Um, and so last but not least, on the right hand corner, we see um, both crowns united together with Lower and Upper Egypt, and this symbolized both the lower and higher self connected. So 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 we know that metaphysically, the red represents the root chakra, which deals with the the lower self, the material realm, the nether the nether world. Okay. And the and the top half connected represent the higher self and the spiritual world. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna begin the next part of the lecture that by saying that the role of a king is to protect and nurture and enlighten his people. Okay? Being being a Nesut, being a Nesubila or Nesubilat. Sorry, it's my ancestors. I'm kind of sort of being possessed right now. Good, because they're hearing everything I'm saying, but um when it comes down to being a Nesubila or Nesubilat, um princehood, kingship, priesthood, and queenship and priestesshood, and princesshood is a very serious thing when it comes to Kemetic culture. Uh, our Khmer people were a people of balance, but they were also very religious to a degree, because their thing was self excuse me, their thing was self-discipline. Okay? Okay, and in order for you to become these three things, a Kamau prince, a Kamau king and priest, you had to take rituals and initiation seriously, because these crowns were not just a thing of accessory to look cool and to look fly and astonishing. That's lower level thinking. These crowns were of a religiosity, okay, and you had to go through very serious and intense initiation in order to become a king and queen, but particularly a king. The 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 initiation and pathway of Kemetic kingship and priesthood is it's a very serious thing, and should not be taken lightly. Because we see women here in we see women in well, we don't, well, I don't see them, but I for one hear about women becoming kings. uh, uh they want to be kings of Egypt. They want to take over, and well, they don't want to take over. They just want to look cool. No, 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 no. Kemetic culture is not something to play with. Okay, Now, I can see if you were a regular American and you celebrated Halloween, then okay, that thing is necessary. But if you're really interested and are serious about participating in the Kemau lifestyle, you you have to take it serious. It's a very serious thing. Now, people in the conscious community, not saying any names, people in the conscious community, they 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 love to spew out the idea that I'm a king. I'm the king of consciousness. Being being a king of consciousness is a very serious thing, and I really don't feel that I should give out this information because I'm not even, 10, 12 years in teaching, but I had to because as a Eastern heterosexual of Kemet, I had to who also wants to become prince, king, and priest. I have to say that I'm bothered. I'm I'm bothered because everybody says they want to be the king of consciousness, but you know how are you showing that you're a king? Uh you're you're just playing world wrestling entertainment with this thing. It's not a play thing. It's it's a very serious thing. Now, our 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 brother, Sen, not Sin, our sin, our brother, brother Jabari, when he when 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 you see his lifestyle and how he conducts himself, he's not he's not perfect, but he comes out of a place of a very pure heart. Yay, yes, okay. Um, he's a he's a heterosexual. That's our brother. Okay, and he is a comedic priest, and the role for him is a very serious thing. And I know, especially for me, when I become king of um, modern day Kemet, Kemet of today, I'm pretty sure that I want it to be um, taken seriously, and I would like to be respected as such. Okay, my my significant other is both queen and king. You just don't know it yet. But yes, to the people that want to become kings of Kemet, to our brothers, please take it seriously and don't play with this thing. Initiate because being initiated and magic and rituals and learning astrology, which was also a part of our religion, as well as metaphysics and the occult and other sciences. It's a very serious thing and should not be taken lightly. Um, de- devote your either devote your life to it or leave it alone. And that's all I have to say on that aspect. Everyone. So to to the to the I want to say to the Eastern heterosexual students and future initiates, to myself, um, may we may we honor and represent Kemet with pride, power, truth, honesty, sincerity, compassion, and love, and also power. Power is very important in government. Okay, very important. And shall we uphold modern day Kamau with authority, and also love Ra, Sekmet, Surket, Netarutapi with all our hearts, and not be foolish in this, in our princehood, in our kingship and priesthood. Because as I told you before on YouTube, if we love Kemau with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, then we must do our job and lifestyle and longevity the right way. Repping Kemet is a very serious thing. Very serious thing. Please take heed to that. Myself, as a soon-to-be prince, king, and priest, I ask you, I beg of you, if you're gonna come into Kemetic culture, ask yourself, do I really love this culture? Do I really want to participate in it, or do I just want to just take bits and pieces and learn from everyone? Because if you're gonna do that, I hate to rain on your parade, but you might as well not be here. And this is just my righteous logic as a as an initiate, okay, and soon to be prince, king, and priest. Take these roles seriously. Love God with all your heart in this. You got religious people telling you that the Kemites never believed in God, when our God told us that both she and he was within us. We are the gods, but do you know what it means to activate that? Do you know the sacrifice of what becoming a king, prince, princess, priest, priestess? Do you know what the sacrifice of that means? I bet not. So, with that being said, on behalf of the golden Mau, the golden cat of Eastern heterosexual Kamau, may you live Kemet in love and honor, truth, prosperity, reciprocity, Nifu, which means freedom in Kemau. Right? And I shall see you next time. Hotepu.